Hey guys, welcome back to Billy Ray Garage, from the garage, under the car. So today we are doing the subframe connectors, yay! So finally get those things in. So just give you a quick look what we're looking at. Got the cradle support in, so we're going to bolt up the subframe connectors into there and into there. My light died, what the frig. So yeah, we're going here, here, here with bolts. And then the subframe connectors are going to come all the way down here where they will weld to, they weld up to, I believe here, I think it's here, right up here. Then they'll come down here. Why is my light dying already? And it's going to weld along here, here, and I believe right in here. So we'll look at the directions, we'll look it over. But show you the quick little setup. I got some 8x8s with a 2x8 and whatever that is. That's like a railroad tie. That's like a 10-inch by 10-inch. And then I got some wheel ramps here supporting the vehicle, because it is important to have the car level, sitting on its own weight on the wheels, because if you don't, then the body's going to bow, and apparently this thing gets all jacked up. I don't know much about that. That's just something I heard a long time ago before I even thought about getting these subframe connectors. So let's get upstairs, see what we got, go to the spare bedroom, and you know, where you keep the car parts. That's where it's supposed to be. You know, not kids. God, no. So yeah, we'll go check out those parts and see what we're dealing with. Alright guys, back in the spare bedroom. We have the bolts that go to that cradle support, all the nuts, there's only 4, and then we got our subframe connectors. So let's grab one of these. So this is the part that goes to the front of the car. Like I said, I believe the welds go from here and down here, and then you're going to weld along this corner, and then same thing right around there, and that's about all the welds you need. But there's prep work to be done, and the thing that sucks with welding is, and getting these painted already, you gotta grind the paint off, because welds will not stick well, so you gotta clean off all this red paint in the areas where you're gonna weld. But I got some paint to cover that up, and so yeah, let's slap these bad boys up, mock them up in place, and see what we gotta clean up, because even though you gotta grind the paint off here, you still gotta clean the bottom of the car. You know, get some denatured alcohol, wipe it off, make sure it's super clean, because welds do not like dirty. Can you get away with it? Probably, but I'm not gonna do that. So let's get these bad boys downstairs and in the garage and see how they fit. Alright guys, back out in the garage. Gonna lay these out so we can mark off where we need to clean up and where our welds are going to go. And also at the end of the video, I know it was difficult for me to find the instructions for doing this project, so I'm going to, at the very end of the video, I'll put the 2 sections of the directions up. If you want to look at this and maybe say, hey, I want to do this, you know, I'll put the directions up. And like the last 20 seconds of the video, maybe 10 seconds each, picture of the instructions. Okay guys, back under the car. I don't know if you can see over there, but I kind of just mocked up the other side of the vehicle, and I'll show you how you do it on this side, or how I did it. Like I said, if you have a lift, don't be a jerk off like me and doing it on the ground. But if this is what you gotta do, this is what you gotta do. This is what I gotta do. So my setup, I already showed you before, but put some wood, some ramps and ramps. So that's gonna hopefully hold the car up and not delete me from the census. But yeah, real quick, I'll just show you how to slap this up and all that fun stuff. Yeah, so real quick, this is slightly different than the directions tell you to do it. The way the directions tell you how to do it is basically removing the old support for the cradle. We're bypassing that part because we already did it. They tell you to leave this loose, but the other side I didn't have a problem with, just mocking it up. So what I did was I put a bolt up here because it's kind of tight. Get up in there. And just started one bolt, and then we went on to another bolt, and we were able to slide this up. And this may be difficult because I did it with the other arm on the other side, but little adversity never killed. All right, guys. And again, you're not cranking this down, you're just putting it up temporarily because you need to mark where the welds are gonna go, so you could clean it up, make it all nice. Oop, get in there. That up there. Okay, so I got those two bolts that come with the kit in. So back here, what I did was just laid the kit up right where it's gonna go, about. There we go. Something like that. Put the jack under it just to hold it in place. The jack stand, I should say. So it's gonna hold it about there. Perfect. And over here, just to make sure everything lines up, got the hole. You know, you can still slide this thing a little bit and try and line up your hole. So yeah, I'm just getting these bolts started just so I know it lines up. Before you start welding, a few things. You're gonna tighten these up and put them in their final spot, because once you weld it, this is not gonna move. Don't make that mistake. So yeah, I'm tightening this one up because it's fairly flush. Not all the way. I'm going to leave it a little loose so I can loosen it by hand. But it's going in. Alright, so now under the car, you can see where you got to clean up right along there. Right around there. And there's another spot up there. I just got to get this thing up a little higher. Yeah, now we're in front of the vehicle. So yeah, you're going to have to clean up around here. And you also have to clean up along this line and along here. You got to clean up along here. So, like I said, just mocking it up and just seeing what I got to clean up. There's not a lot of room down here, obviously, because I'm an idiot. Now, the directions say that there's no weld points that go to the floorboard. So whatever you weld is not going to interfere with like burning up your carpet or your interior. And so far that looks to be true, which is cool. So yeah, let's get this marked out and figure out what we got to do. All right, so I'm going to push that up. I mean, it says use a felt tip marker or something like that. I just got a crayon. I'm going to go a little extra here, so I can see what I'm clearing up. That's all I gotta get. You only have to weld along here, here, and here. And then also up in this area, so you want to clear out a little bit here to here. You want to get right into there, so that's an area we're going to clean up. And then back towards the middle of the car. So we're going to push this up, get it close, and you're only welding to this part, I believe, so I don't think it goes to the side. It really doesn't. No, you can't get up in there. So it's just this front piece that you're only worried about, like a little bit of this bend and a little bit of this bend, and it's going to weld up to here. You can tell there's some like rough shit here. You're going to have to grind that down. Other than that, that's all the welding you got to do. It doesn't seem like a big deal. Now, am I the greatest welder in the world? No. Can I make a weld hold? Absolutely. Let me get the grinding disc out and get this back down so I can clean it all up, and I'll show you that process too. I got this from Home Depot, so we'll see. I don't want to take off any metal, so I'm going to hope that this just takes the paint off. and give that a go. So we're gonna clean the subframe connector off and then go underneath the car, clean off the areas that we need to clean off, and get the welding going. Alright guys, so just real quick, just gonna clean a little material off, especially this side. I'm gonna clean a little material off of this side and a little bit on the bottom, because this is where it presses up against the car. I'll clean a little bit along the top just so we don't have any contamination. And then same thing here. We're gonna go all the way around this, the side, and a little bit of the top. And then over here, it's gonna go right there and right along here. And a little bit here too, because this all gets welded in. Alright guys, under the car, tie-dye suit. Gonna start grinding all this junk off where we gotta cut it, grind it off, like right here and some up here. I'll show you when I get to there. Seems pretty straightforward. Just grind until you get metal. Okay guys, so got some bare metal going. Some bare metal there. Some bare metal there. And that's what we need to weld in the driver's side. So I still gotta do the other side, so, you know, fuck me, right? They said if you had a lift, the prep would be so much easier. Alright, I'll go bang out the other side and we'll start doing the prep and welding it in. Alright guys, we're gonna start prepping this thing to get it put in. Now just real quick, where you're gonna be welding, just wipe it off with denatured alcohol. You know, the spots that you cleared up under here, underneath the vehicle, and where you grinded off the subframe connector. Just give it a quick little pass with denatured alcohol. Clean it up. You want as clean of a surface as possible to do this. So we're gonna go back to this end, that end, the rear, and we're gonna prep up bolts. As you can see, we're gonna start by putting that up and see where everything lands. Don't tighten it down, and then mock it up into place, and you're gonna get a jack and push it up and hold it solid against the frame. So when you weld, you want it as close as possible to where it's going to be without jacking the suspension up at all. So let's get that going and let's get welding. All right, we're going to start mounting it to there. What I did is look down here. Just got a jack stand holding the other side up just to keep it from dropping. So we'll go over here, and you got the two bolts that you're supplied with. Boom, boom, boom. They're gonna go up here into these two holes. Worry about this one last. This is one of the last spots for this cradle support. It goes up in here. So we'll deal with that last. We'll get it where we want it, and then we'll crank it down as soon as we get the other end lined up in place where we want it. All right, so we're gonna do this back in. Now that nut has a nylon insert in it, so don't go crazy. And we'll come up here, get that there, gotta backhand it. And then last we got the 15mm to go up here. We'll kind of line that up now, just get it started so that we know that that hole lines up. But you don't want to go crazy, don't tighten it down a little way. We're gonna be messing with the other end. Cheating forward a little bit. that's as close as it wants to get. So what I found on the other side too was you kind of get like a little gap there, right in between. Oops, drop down. So it dropped down, but there's a little gap right there, and my welder, getting cock blocked by a freaking jack. My welder does not make thick welds, so I'm probably going to stick a plate up in there just to fill the gap and then fill it in. I had the same problem on the other side. I just have to find some scrap steel to throw in there and try and button that up. So hold while I get a jack and hold this thing up in place. Jesus Christ, almost died. So that's going to stay there. So yeah, I'll get a jack over here and I'm going to press up. I'm going to start from the middle and work my way to the front, just so, you know, the jack's not in the way. Because if I start in the front and it's bowed a little bit, then the middle's going to be hard to do. I'd rather get the middle done and work my way forward. So let me get all the, let me get the jack in place, and then we'll button up the back end. All right, guys, gonna start with the cradle bolt. That is a 15 millimeter. I'm just gonna hammer it home. There was no torque specs in the kit, so I don't know what that would be, but I would imagine it's the same as these other two. But I'm just gonna set it home with an impact gun. Alright, got that. And these other two are 3/4 inch. Use the impact down here and our socket up top. Ugh. Okay, so now that's up and in. Just jack this up into place. Get it nice and tight. Okay, so this happened on the other side. There's a big gap up in there. I decided on the other side to just try and fill it in, but I got some metal shims to go up in there, and I got some metal shims to go up in there so I could weld all inside of here, and I'm gonna have to use the shims on that one too. So I don't know why that happens, but it does. Alright guys, one last thing before you start welding. Disconnect the battery. I heard that could cause damage to the vehicle. I've never done it before, but I usually disconnect the battery. Good idea to do that. So let's start just welding it up in place. I'm going to start at the front. I'm going to start like right there. Just get a little tack on just to get it held up, and then I'll bang home the middle. All right, guys, subframe connectors are in. Give you a little peek underneath the vehicle. Let's see what we got going on here. Jeez, it's freaking raining. So, as you can see underneath, we are all in. And yeah, you can't see the other side. I'll bring it to the other side and give a little peek at it. This is a little welder I used. Honestly, the MIG welder was a little overpowered for this job. The welds will hold, that's not the issue. It's just that it was a very, very thin wire. I'll show you real quick. So yeah, it was a little challenging. You had to make a couple passes over it to make it work. So the welds will hold. It's not that it was difficult with that, just I had to layer it more. If I had a stick welder, I forgot the size of the stick that you would use for the weld, but it's a lot thicker. You could beat it a lot better. Bead, not beat. Dirty minds, stop it. So yeah, you can put a thicker bead on there and do way less, not way less passes, but I probably did about 3 passes on the welds. With a stick welder, you might even get away with 1. You might have to make some shims too. I'll show you underneath the passenger side, or the driver's side, I mean. So, we are in. So yeah, doing this job, I suggested a lift that you could drive a vehicle on it. It would make it a lot easier. I was monkey fucking a football underneath this thing. But a little adversity didn't kill me. I'm still here. Next video, I'm going to be going for a test drive and see how this thing handles. I will show you the, what you could do with these subframe connectors. Allegedly, you have 1 jacking point now, so if you want to rotate tires or swap wheels and tires all in one shot, on one side at least, you could jack the whole thing up on one side, switch your wheels out, and it apparently stiffens the hell out of this thing. So I'm excited to give it a test drive, and then I'll do a quick video on how to adjust the rear coilovers. That's going to be coming up later. That'll be after the test drive, just to show you how you tinker with those. And then after that, we're going to start digging into the engine. Yay, can't wait. So here's the engine with a bunch of shit on it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Showing you the test drive. I cannot wait to test drive this thing. So yeah, like, subscribe, you know the deal, and I'll see you in the next one.